Hello and welcome to Play Talk Repeat. I'm Oliver and I'm joined by Niall, Alex, and Lewis.
Hello.
Hello.
It's time for our video game book club episode. Once a month, one of us chooses a game for the group to play and review, and this month the game is Chibi-Robo, as chosen by Alex. Alex, can you tell us a little bit about why you chose the game?
So, it's been highly anticipated on the channel because Oliver wanted to play it, I wanted to play it, Richard Lewis wanted to play it, Niall probably didn't want to play it. That's probably the consensus. But yeah, I chose it because I was fighting for my life to pick a game, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna bite the bullet. They probably won't see it coming, and
No,
I
to
just
be
thought
fair,
it's time, and we
Guess
need a 3D platformer to play. So, Chibi-Robo it is.
it was a surprise. So a little bit about the game. It was developed by Skip Limited and published by Nintendo. It released exclusively for the GameCube in 2005 before receiving a Japan-only port to the Wii in 2009. It is classed as a platformer slash adventure game. Let's do some opening statements. Niall, you go first.
Chibi-Robo. So, I gave it a 5 out of 10. I thought that it was actually not too bad of a collectathon type game. I thought the movement and the way you control Chibi was quite interesting. I thought there's a lot of little animations that I did, which I'm like, whoa, that's pretty good for a game this old. Like I noticed as I just beat it this morning that I was getting attacked by those spider oys, and when you spin around to throw them off, like they actually look like they're being thrown off with proper physics. So there's a lot of like attention to detail put into this game. The negative, like literally the biggest downside for me is that the game just doesn't respect your time. Like nowadays, time is the main value proposition when looking at a game, not really price, just because of like all the services out there. So I think it's aged poorly in that regard, just because you can't skip dialogue, you can't skip cutscenes. They make sure to repeat everything about 10 times. They really oversell the reactions of things, which is good. It's part of its charm, but it's the fact that you're trapped into it. The level design is very similar in that, like, when I was going around collecting all the chibi doors at the end, like it was designed in a way where you had to like drop down somewhere, so you had to go all the way around to get back up, and then go to the next one and drop down and go all the way around again. And yeah, so I think that was the biggest negative criticism. If you could skip cutscenes and it was designed in a friendlier way for your time, then it could easily be a 7 out of 10 for me.
Okay, grand. Alex?
I gave it an 8 out of 10, probably creeping up towards an 8.5, but I'll stick with an 8. I really liked it. I enjoyed it enough that I 100%ed it. Um, I I think it's of its time, like early 2000s, 3D platformer. I think it's really fun. I really like the characters and all the interactions that you can have, which is why I really wanted to like find out all the different stories between all the different characters and stuff, because I actively seek them out. I didn't find any of them like quite boring or anything. I think the movement and stuff was perfect for like a little robot. I just wish there was a bit more to it, like teleporting or moving the chibi house, because starting in the living room every single time was quite annoying. But the fast forward key was sometimes my best friend. But like during like when I had to like go down to the basement every single day to like try and find something, I'd just fast forward because it was just easier. But yeah, 8 out of 10.
Cracking.
You fast forward with the emulator. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought I might have missed
But yeah,
something in
because
the
I used
game.
an emulator,
Yeah,
that's like one of the main things.
I should have done that.
I never fast forwarded, but there was a specific reason for that we're getting to later. Lewis?
My score is similar to Niall's. I gave it a 5.5. I like the game, but I think it overstays its welcome massively. And I also think, like Niall said, is it does not respect your time in the slightest. I get that you're a tiny little robot, but the movement in that game is so slow. It presents the dialogue to you in such a slow way where it's not even a thing of skipping the dialogue. You can't even make the dialogue skip ahead and then like go to the next piece of dialogue. You have to watch it slowly go across the screen. Um, and there's just a bunch of things like that that stop the game from being enjoyable. I also fast forwarded certain stuff in the game, but I'm not gonna up my score. Even though the game was more enjoyable fast forward, I'm not gonna up the score because that's not the way the game was meant to be played. You're not meant to do that.
Yeah.
And the only reason I started doing that is because I got so sick and tired of just how slow everything was. Especially since the game is very repetitive. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to do a lot of days over and over again where you basically either get nothing done or you end up seeing the same bit of dialogue or same bit of animation because you're like triple checking things. I also 100% of the game because I wanted to give it a fair review, and I also was enjoying it outside of the not liking how slow it is part. And like I said, if I didn't have fast forward, I probably wouldn't have even attempted to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for that reason, I give the game a 5.5. I think it's fun. I think it lasts way too long. Um, and it's just very, very slow. And I know the argument is always a small robot. Of course, it takes me ages to get places. Give me some upgrades that like increase my movement speed. Give me a little car to drive around, and give me something to just make it traveling more fun. Obviously you've got those teleporters and stuff, but they're few and far between, and
It
you
should
still
have
have to
been.
you still have to trek 1,000 miles to get to them anyway. So it's
Yeah,
just it's
it
just
should have been a
yeah, I
thing
don't
where you
know.
could choose where to go. Like if you like you
Yeah.
jumped in like the teleporter, it could be like right, go to Jenny's room, go to the basement, go here, just to make the traversing quicker.
Yeah, like the game's cute, the level design's good. It's just very slow, um, and that's genuinely it's just very slow. So for that reason, I just have to give it 5.5. Like it's way too slow.
Cracking. So, I want to preface this by saying I've wanted to play. Obviously, it's been talked about already. Been wanting to play Chibi-Robo for
Oh,
years and
yeah,
years.
that's also true as well. I want to say that as well. I did want to play it for a long,
Yeah.
long time. Yeah.
And I just never got around to it. So maybe I built it up too much in my head, and I was worried that it would it actually be good or not. That's probably why I never actually got around to playing it. But should I have been worried? Yeah, kind of. So I've been flitting between my score for a while now. When I put it on how long to beat, I gave it a 7. But given a bit of distance from the game, I think I'm going to lower it to a 6. It's just got some glaring issues, man. Like I want to stress that I enjoyed my time with the game. Like I think you guys have, sound like you was a bit like, well, Niall and Lewis felt like it was a lot more tedious than it was for me. Like I thought it was something very different. It's very Nintendo in what it's trying to do. Biggest issues like progression in the game and how unclear the way forward is, and honestly the fact that you could just see so many quality of life changes that could have been made to it to make it less annoying. But I think it was just very, very charming. It's very much a same kind of case as we had with Tulip, whereas it had issues and it didn't respect your time, but it was just charming enough to just make it fun. So 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. Can we get an average, please, Niall?
I've got it.
He's got
6.125.
6.125. Cracking. So I want to get into some of these quality of life changes I was talking about. So like I think Alex or Lewis already mentioned, why can't we just start in different rooms, especially as we get later into the game? Why can't the Chibi house just be landed in a different room? Like similar as we talked about with Pikmin, whereas you can go to different areas and stuff like that. You don't have to travel to each area. It should just be like you can stick yourself in Jenny's room, or you can stick yourself in the main bedroom or wherever. It would just be a lot easier, because like you say, you spend so much time traveling to where you're supposed to go before actually doing anything.
And I mean, they know that Chibi's a sentient creature.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be weird. They would not care if, like, the ship was in another room. They wouldn't bring it up or anything. So it's not, like, for plot reasons, it doesn't make sense.
The guy was fine with Chibi using his toothbrush to clean
Yeah,
it.
no, yeah, he literally just...
Oh, yeah, exactly.
The little creep just walks around the bedroom while the mum and dad are in bed. It's
weird. Yeah, I stood right on the face. Yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like if they let you do that, and this is, I might be wrong here, I feel like they're restricting you from doing that because I feel like they would have worried you would have done stuff too quick. Like the game would have been over way too quickly if you could have just started wherever you wanted and gone straight to where you needed. Because if you disregard all of the side content in the game, the actual main story part really isn't that long. If you're talking actual just the main story mission, so maybe they just restricted it for that reason. And maybe they wanted you to appreciate the level design, because I will say the level design was really good.
Yeah.
considering you're small and the whole point is you're meant to be able to traverse these giant rooms, I think they did that very well.
Yeah, it's like
So
just
maybe
seeing a
that's part
set
of
of
it.
stairs and seeing how
Yeah.
much of an absolute ordeal it is for something
Yeah.
so small to get up those.
And the fact you had to get a ladder
Like
to get
maybe
up
they
those stairs.
maybe they just want you to appreciate that, and obviously just letting you spawn wherever you want would have taken away from that massively. So maybe that was part of it.
Maybe, but even like just so like some more that I've got down, allow some sort of movement upgrade for Chibi, so he can like run faster.
Yeah,
something
no,
like that. Just
literally, that was
anything that will get you from where you start into your destination faster would be fantastic. The fact that they sell a car in the shop and you can't use it to
Oh, no,
It's
actually
like one
yeah,
mini game
it's for a one
to
mini
get
game.
one
Yeah.
sticker.
Yeah,
It's just a
exactly,
waste of
and that's the last one I've got down as well. Obviously, there is plenty, but the ones I've written down is take that shit out of the shop until you need it, or until you've cleared enough of the game where you don't feel like, because they don't explain what it's for. They don't explain what that car's for. So, like Niall, for example, I believe you bought the car, didn't you, or the spaceship?
Yeah, I initially bought the spaceship, realized that I couldn't use it anywhere, and then reset my save because that was a lot of moolah.
Yeah.
Because obviously the main quest is filling up the giga battery. That's the main. That's like the end goal you've got, and that having that stuff in the shop really fucks with that, because there's only so much moolah you get on each given day.
Yeah.
And while we're on the subject of the shop, I didn't know that the timers in the shop were permanent.
I kind of, so for at least 7 days or so, I kept buying new ones. So because I'd buy like a 15, and then the next day the 15 was grayed out, so I was like, oh, it doesn't let you buy the same one multiple days in a row. So then I'd buy a 10, and then the next day the 15 would be, and I'd just keep alternating.
Oh yeah, because when you're in the house, it doesn't show the time limit yet. Right? Okay, that makes sense.
So then I found out after about 8 days that once you buy it, it just locks it to that until you buy a different one, and then I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I stuck with 10 for majority of it. 'Cause I feel like that was the sweet spot.
Yeah, I also did 10.
Because I feel like 15 was too long, 5 was not enough, and then when you got the pajamas, it was just perfect because whenever you would finish, you could just go to sleep.
Yeah, you could. That was a game changer when you got the pajamas. It made the game like a lot more efficient.
Yeah, so I didn't know they were. I thought they were consumables, and I didn't know whether you got more of them. So I always just said to myself, "I'll just save it for when I need it." So every single one of my days was 5 minutes long.
That's something else I ended up doing as well. Do you know the trash, the garbage?
Yeah.
I thought for at least 5 hours that stuff was gonna. Do you know the machine? What was it called that made the
recyclotron?
Oh, the recyclotron.
recyclables. Yeah, the recyclotron. I thought the stuff you were picking up off the floor was going to go into the recyclotron.
Yeah, so did I.
I kept it for ages because I didn't know you could throw it away. I kept expecting at some point it was going to let you put it in the recyclotron. And then towards the end of the game, which made farming money way easier, by the way, when I figured this out, like, you could put stuff in the bin and throw it away, and it gives you a bunch of happiness and a bunch of money. And I genuinely didn't realize that until about 11 hours in, 12 hours in.
There's so much. Yeah, because you can only hold so much of each thing as well.
Yes.
So the amount of money you must have missed out on.
I was so confused at why I was like, why is the limit of everything like 10? And why can't I do anything with it? I really didn't understand.
Did you try doing it in the bin, but from like the wrong position?
Yes.
Yes.
I did as well. I think everyone did.
Because I tried it initially in the living room because there's a bin, and I thought, oh, can I put stuff in the bin? But nothing popped up, so I just was like, oh, okay, maybe not. It wasn't until the daughter's room that I saw the bin, and I walked past it by accident, and it said A to throw it or something. And I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, okay. So that was a bit annoying, but I suppose that was my fault because it did mention at the start something about the bin. So that's why I checked in the first place. But when I didn't get any response, I was like, oh, well, it mustn't be that.
Yeah, well, that living room one's really annoying because like what Niall's saying there is there's a ledge right behind it, and they make it seem as if you could throw stuff into it from the top, but it tells you what
that's what I tried.
What does it say?
You
if you
can't throw
try
it in from here.
You can't throw it in from here. So it's like, well, this is the easiest place I could possibly throw it in from. But no,
I had to get higher and throw it in from a way further up.
Like a basketball.
Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, so my biggest issue, I'll keep going back to the issues, was that sometimes it's unclear how to progress the story forward. Like, for example, I don't understand why getting the pajamas progressed into the alien storyline.
It was nonsense.
Well, I never actually got the pajamas until right at the end of the game. Like you didn't actually have to.
You have to pick 'em
receive
up.
the
Oh, do you not have to
component.
trigger? Oh,
you
right.
have to pick them up, but you have to get it to make them. You have to give them the material to do so.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's weird checks. Like having to make stuff like it's to get out of that bedroom. I think. I
It
think
was-
that's what like the check is.
Yeah.
The satellite was with the aliens was the only thing in the game I had to look up.
Yeah, I had to
Um,
look that up as well.
Because, and the main reason that annoyed me is once I looked it up, I went, "Oh, I'm an idiot." Obviously, it wants me to use the satellite outside, and it'll point towards that thing and show me. It didn't. In every other room, that the whole point of that satellite is it shows you secret things that you don't know are there.
Yeah.
So when I found out that you have to go here to this alien thing, I went, "Oh, I'll check outside and activate the satellite and see if it points me towards that direction." No, it didn't. So I don't get how you were meant to know. Like I literally don't understand how you were meant to figure it out.
It's like asking, have you seen that symbol somewhere or something like that symbol before?
Yeah,
It's like, no,
it was
I didn't
just-
know you could pull up the weeds.
And also, I tested it out as well in that spot. If you're not stood directly in the middle, like I'm talking
Oh, yeah.
dead center, it doesn't activate. So you could easily go there, check that, and be off by a couple of frames, and then it won't activate. So then you'll just go, "Oh, there's nothing here." So yeah, I think that part was very confusing. And unless there was an easy way to figure it out, I think there was some stuff like that in the game that was just a bit too stupid.
Yeah, I've been meaning to look at the manual for the game just in case it's like again like a
Oh,
tulip
yeah,
situation where these things are explained to you. But I've not actually had time to look it up.
No, yeah, that upset me, but luckily that was the only thing I needed to look up. There was some places where I did get stuck.
Hello.
That might be Lewis gone.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I think I put my hand on the top of my mic. So I didn't notice it.
Really
That was so abrupt.
The point was that just I don't know what I was talking about. What was my point? What was the talk about?
It was like the looking stuff up during
Yeah.
like the
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
I only got lost like a couple of times, but I managed to figure stuff out through trial and error, so there wasn't any like major issues like that one time. But yeah, that one in particular, I mean, it got everyone apparently, so it obviously is a stupidly designed
Well,
one.
this is it. I you know me. I'm a guide boy. If I don't know where I'm going, then I'm gonna look it up. But very early on, it became very clear that there's so much in this game that you do not need to do. Like obviously you can do it. It's great if you want to do it, but there's so much that there's nothing. What annoys me a lot about these kind of games is that the main storyline, the golden path, is not highlighted. I want the option. I want the option to do side stuff. You know, I don't want to have to trial and error my way through it in order to find that.
I also think it's weird because I legit think about 70% of the content in the game is side content.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the majority of it is side content, which I think is very strange. But they do it in a way where it does kind of seamlessly flow into because you can't tell what
This is
is
it, you
actually
can't
the main
tell.
story and what isn't. So they do it in a good way, to be fair.
Yeah, that is kind of like the charm of it though as well. It's like you are just trying to find like stuff to do in the house. It's not like right, this is your objective that the parents have told you to go and do. You're finding your own like way of doing it.
Yeah. But I think I made burgers about 7 times, expecting I think I expected like maybe I need to make burgers a certain amount of times so it's that good that then
Fuck you talking about what burgers?
Oh yeah, you can make burgers.
Burgers.
yeah
Oh,
after
Yeah, you get the burger stamp.
Yeah,
The sticker.
like it's just before it's after the divorce. Well, not after the divorce. It's after the mum says that they're gonna get divorced.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "I've got to cook and clean and do all this shit." And if he's in the kitchen, and if you speak to him, he's making. But well, you can make burgers for Jenny and him. So.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and use the spoon to flip.
While we're on
the parties.
while we're on the subject, the story of the game, Alex, can you give us a quick rundown of what's going on?
Yeah. So the hit new craze is a Chibi-Robo. It's like a little robot that will clean your house and do like little tasks for you. So the Sandersons buy a Chibi-Robo for their daughter Jenny's birthday, and then he just basically goes around cleaning stuff up and tries to solve like loads of different things. And then he goes into the basement, comes across Giga-Robo. That's his name, right?
Giga-Robo, I believe so.
Yeah. And then he finds out that his battery's drained and he's missing his left foot. So you have to go and try and find his left foot and fill up this battery with the currency, which is moolah, and then that's the main story, and there's loads of like little characters and stuff that you can meet along the way, and
And
There's also the other
try
massive
and
part
raise
of the
money.
story.
yeah, the
that's
main thing is
divorce.
that the father should not have bought the
Yeah.
Chibi-Robo because they've got
Yeah.
no fucking money at all. So
Yeah.
there's a big conflict between the mum and the dad in this in this story because they're just, like I said, they're running really short on money. Giga Robo already cost them enough to power because it just took that much actual money to do so. And yeah, they start talking about divorce and all that kind of thing, and the daughter's very upset, and she's obviously got like she's obsessed with frogs for some
Major
reason.
trauma.
Major
No, she's
trauma.
been
and the
cursed
fact
by
that
the frog.
she's cursed by the frog,
The
which
frog king.
translates a definite trauma in that she'll
Yeah,
only
trauma.
communicate in ribbits.
Mm.
Yeah,
Which
it
is really
gets
good,
a
like-
bit dark for a kid's game.
Well, that's the part I liked. That's one of the parts I liked about the game. I
Yeah.
liked that the story was very realistic and it just was kind of very serious.
Yeah,
Like, it was a good juxtaposition to the actual gameplay, which was obviously very silly and stupid. Because if you interacted with any of the toys, it was just the most insane batshit thing in the world.
yeah.
So
But then
funny.
obviously in real life they were struggling. They were not having a good time. I did enjoy the story, to be fair. Yeah, I thought the story was good. Obviously very simple, but very serious, and I think it works.
Yeah.
And obviously you find out at the end of the game that the dad wasn't the worst.
Yeah, no,
he
yeah,
did-
he
he
had
did
reasons.
He did quit the evil toy company, so my man was pretty good. He was still kind of insane, but
Yeah.
he wasn't awful.
Speaking of insane, one thing I've just looked it up then, that no one has any idea why the chibi door dimension is the way that it is.
God knows.
In that,
Oh yeah,
that-
it's so weird.
that's what
I was
a lot of
hoping to
people-
find like what they were about when I did all
Oh
of them.
right, I
Yeah.
was
But
confused.
yeah,
Well, yeah, 'cause,
Wait,
it
like,
doesn't
the
explain
mu-
anything.
Right, it just
It,
plays the music, the creepy ass music when you.
it's
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just what it's like in the walls. Like
Yeah,
I
maybe, yeah.
genuinely have no clue.
Yeah, just yeah, you will have seen, the audience will have seen it in the video I was playing. I did go in a couple of Chibi-Robos when I was recording gameplay. It's the bit where you plug into the wall, the door opens, and then there's usually money in there, but there's also chibi eyes everywhere, and the music's
Yeah,
the
it's
music's very
it's really
strange.
disorientating and sorry, disorienting. Yes, that's the word.
Disorientating. Just
Is it tating?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know. You know.
I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
thought-
the one.
I thought it's disorienting. Anyway, the point is, he's really fucked up, and it just makes you feel kind of weird and creepy and scared.
Yeah.
And it just sort of
Grab
messes.
the money
with
and run.
things. Yeah.
And these chibi dolls were already in the house. You know what I mean? They
Yeah,
they
they-
weren't
I-
brought in. They were
Very
already there.
strange.
I mean,
Someone
part of
came to install them
Yeah.
when they got the Chibi-Robo.
infestation.
No, yeah, I don't want to be mean to the game, but I kind of understand why also in Japan, but especially in the West, that this game didn't do very well. I like, especially for a first party Nintendo title, the fact that it sold as little as it did compared to like Mario and everything, I do kind of really understand why after playing it. I can't say I'm shocked that the series didn't overly stick, and I also think that's partly the company's fault, because I don't know if you've done any research into every game afterwards, but every single game is completely different in genre, like all of them.
I know
Um,
Ziplash is a 2D platformer.
Like none of the games are consistent with the genre, and also the one key thing that I think is ruined by the whole Chibi-Robo franchise is Chibi isn't special. The
Yeah.
games aren't about this specific Chibi. The first game is,
Yeah.
but Chibi is just a toy that exists worldwide. So every game it's not the same family, it's not the same people, it's not the same Chibi. There's no attachment to this character
Yeah.
whatsoever. And then combined with that, you've just got a completely different genre for every single game that comes out. It's like they were just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks, because the first game didn't do super well. And yeah, I don't know. All those things combined, I'm not super shocked that it didn't pop off like they were expecting, especially when Nintendo already have stuff like Mario and Zelda and just all these massive franchises.
Mhm.
This in comparison is definitely lackluster.
I think it's
a weird
probably
one.
it probably did better in Japan. The thing is,
It didn't
like,
even. It didn't. No, it did better. I looked. It did better, but even by Japan standard, it's very niche. It didn't do super well.
How did Tulip do? Because again, I'm going to keep comparing this to Tulip. It is the same kind of Japanese and weird. It's a good kind of Japanese and weird. It is the same
Yeah.
kind.
I don't know. Let's look
Yeah.
if I can even get sales.
Also, this
up.
does that. what are the odds on there being a Chibi-Robo day one launch title for the Switch 2? Do you think?
None.
That's
0%.
That's
It's
0%.
Because
$0%.
none of them have sold well. Some of them they haven't even released over it. Like I think
Yeah.
at least half of them they haven't, but a couple of did, and they've not sold well at all.
Yeah, they've sold like absolutely. It's not even like the game kind of did bad, like really bad. Like we're talking awful, and even Dishland's selling well. They reviewed really poor as well. Like they reviewed awfully. None of them reviewed well. It just didn't have a good time.
Yeah, this
Um,
one reviewed okay. It got like 8 out of 10s.
Yeah.
It
Well,
got 75 on Metacritic.
Well,
It did decent.
when I started reading like the official Nintendo magazines was around the time Chibi-Robo came out, and that's why I was so I want to play this game, but I wasn't willing to spend full price for it at the time. I wasn't really aware of emulation, and well, obviously the GameCube wasn't being emulated then anyway. And by the time had passed, the Chibi-Robo was one of the most expensive games on the GameCube to buy.
Yeah.
Because I think
yeah.
when I bought it, it was 90 quid.
That's also an issue with Chibi-Robo. It came out really late in the GameCube's life, like right towards the end of it. I think if this came out first year, this would have popped off a lot more than it did. This came out right at the end of the GameCube's life.
Yeah, it came
So
out
I think that was a weird decision.
2006. So the Wii was pretty much out.
Also, Wii came out end of 2006. Yeah.
Yeah, it came out
Surely,
May.
I haven't got exact, but the only reference I've got is in the first week in Japan, it only sold 6,000 copies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I've looked everywhere. I can't find any of the
Yeah.
numbers.
That's mad.
So yeah, this definitely would have done better than Tulip because it's Nintendo. It's a first-party Nintendo game. But I've read that this game, even by Japan's standards, it really didn't. It did fine. It just did okay. I just don't think Japan love it or anything. I don't think they're in love with Chibi as a character or as a concept. And again, after playing it, I just do kind of understand why. I don't think it does anything to like necessarily catch the public's attention or be a mainstay for anyone. It was just kind of like a quirky, fun experience of a game, and that's sort of it. Honestly,
Yeah.
it doesn't really go beyond that.
I'm looking now because I've got the official Nintendo magazine down there. I'm just wondering which one because I'm sure I read about it. I'll have to find it later. But yeah, no, because I read that and I was dead excited about the game, but I just didn't actually because there must have been other stuff coming out at the same time. Plus, you're saving up for the Wii at this all around the same time.
You were hyped for Twilight Princess.
Hyped for
obviously.
Twilight Princess. Yeah, again, that was the first like Zelda game that I played, so it was just one of the 2 games that I got with the Wii because that was what was coming out. I think I got that and Red Steel, which I think is what the vast majority of people bought with the Wii when it first came out.
Basically, every Wii stuff.
Never even heard of that game.
It was a lot. It was a launch title. It wasn't good at all, and it was falsely advertised in how you made it look like it was 1-to-1 moving on the Wii and the Wii remote. But
yeah, it was something they rectified with the second game because the second game they had Wii Motion Plus, so they actually did what they said you could do in the first game. But the first game was not like that. Oh yeah, it was a lie, a big fat lie.
No. Anyway, back onto Chibi-Robo before we get into 20 questions. Does anyone have anything more to say on the game?
No. It was just Chibi-Robo, wasn't it?
Cracking. What was that score, Alex?
6.125. But I do want to say one thing.
Okay.
Fuck the Space Scrambler. For once. Fucking awful. Hated it. Was the worst minigame. I did it about 10 times. The eggs were cool. I like the eggs.
Oh, did the eggs end up teaming up with the pirate?
Yeah. The eggs teamed up with the pirate, and then they all teamed up together, and then they all fought Tao and rescued Memphis. And you get the Tao suit, and you get to bark at people.
Yeah, that was something I would need to bring up as well. That I didn't overly love. I kind of liked it, but I didn't like sometimes the voice acting. Because obviously it was just recycled noises that they just played over and over again, but I really didn't like some of the noises. They made me feel uncomfortable. Like Captain and Longbeard? Longplank?
Oh yeah, Longplank.
No, Plankbeard, I think it was.
Plankbeard.
He sounded like he was choking every time he was like, and I was like, fucking Christ, stop. And a lot of the voice acting was like that. It's kind of like Banjo-Kazooie voice acting, but Banjo-Kazooie voice acting is kind of charming and kind of nice. I didn't really like it in this. A lot of it just, like I said, I didn't like the noises that they were making.
It was very jarring.
And because the dialogue is so slow, you have to listen to it for so long coming at you.
Sometimes they slow it right down.
yeah.
Television, sometimes the way he speaks, it's a fucking nightmare.
The voice actor there. That was weird. I don't know. I would have maybe liked it if they actually had voices, but yeah, that's something else I want to point out.
Cracking. So, Chibi-Robo 6.125. Let's move on to the next ones, shall we? So, Niall,
Yes.
God help us, has picked a game, and we're gonna guess it in 20 questions. Who would like to go first?
I mean, hopefully we can actually guess it in 20 questions.
You all know what this is. Well, you all have heard of it. None of you know what this is.
Strong words.
Yeah.
Gonna be enough for broadcast.
I'll start. Did it come out within the past 5 years?
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
It's a new game.
Someone needs to write these down. I can't. I've not got a spare screen. Can someone write these things?
I will.
I'm not writing them down this time. Yeah.
No, I don't think you would.
You say your next question while I get this.
Oh God, I've got to go next. Right. I'm not going to ask the question because I already know this game is on PC. We know that, definitely.
Yeah.
The game is. So it's not exclusive to any one console or anything like that. Is it? Would you class it as an indie game?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I will say that it's not literally an indie game, but I will class it as an indie game. It was not. It was not independently published by the developer. It was not.
Right. Oh, right. Okay. Right. So yeah. So it's an indie developer, but it's been published by a big boy.
Right.
By
Okay.
someone else.
Is it an action game?
No.
Is this game? Do you play this game in the third person?
No.
Why did he
Because I was scanning the wiki.
Scanning the wiki.
Oh, right,
Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably first person.
For a first person, let's ask.
Either that or it's like a top-down tactical thing.
Would you call this a first-person shooter?
I would not.
Interesting.
I might clarify that question after I just watch a bit of gameplay, but the wiki doesn't say anything about
Alright, watch
that.
your glasses.
We can't see your reflection in your glasses now. It's all good, man.
I was taking the bit.
Yeah, not a first person. Yeah, not a first person shooter. Sorry, is what I meant.
Not an FPS, right? Okay. Is it a standalone game?
Yes.
It's a standalone game. We've all heard of.
I'd be surprised if you hadn't. Like, massively surprised. I'd put like £3 on it that you all have.
£3?
Yeah, 3 whole pounds, 3 big greens.
Three big greens.
I'm gonna say. What am I gonna say? Does this game cost less than £15 in Steam?
It does.
Well, there we go, boys.
What was that question?
So random.
Okay.
That means we know the general quality of the game.
Yeah.
Some
Right. So we're assuming it's first person, aren't we? We're assuming it's first person.
we have to.
It's not a shooter. Would you? Is this a puzzle game?
It does not describe it as a puzzle game, and to my understanding, it is not a puzzle game.
Okay.
It's not a puzzle game.
Not a puzzle game.
Oh no! I will give you. There is solving puzzles in this.
Right, but it's not a puzzle game, right? Okay.
Right. It's a puzzle game where you don't solve. No, it's not a non-puzzle game where you solve
It's non-puzzle
puzzles.
game where you solve puzzles.
Okay, cracking. That's fine.
It's a slow one this time around.
Yeah, it is a slow one.
But it's not me.
No,
Is
it's
it-
Alex.
No, okay.
Is it like a detective game?
Fuck me, I don't know.
Bro just picks games. He doesn't look into them. I'm sure of it.
I mean, I'm gonna say that it wouldn't be described as a detective game because it's not.
Right. Okay.
You might detect stuff at some point. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm gonna ask, right? Are the characters in this game humans?
There are human characters in this game.
Are all the characters in this game humans?
Every single character in this game are they humans.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that. You know what? I'll say yeah.
He's
Right,
gonna say
okay.
yeah. Right. That's.
I just went to,
human
no, because I thought,
characters.
I don't know, I thought you maybe like plays an alien or something,
Yeah,
and the
no,
rest
no.
of humans, I don't know. But no, they're all human. Human-based video
Right.
games.
So that's 10 questions. So you definitely play as a human. That much is clear. I've got nowhere to go. I've got nowhere to go. At
Why
all.
are we struggling so much with questions?
You hadn't asked any basic questions yet. You've asked really weird ones.
Can you remind us of some basic questions, please?
Ask him the. No, don't ask his genre because we'll sit here asking 50.
I asked a couple genres.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's not a puzzle game. It's not an action game. Right, I can't think of anything else to ask. So I'm glad. Fuck's sake. Isn't it an adventure game? Is it classed as an adventure game?
Adventure is one of the two genres, but if you
Right.
know of this game, you probably wouldn't think of it as an adventure game.
Oh, that is so unhelpful.
Hate that. Did it score above 80 on Metacritic?
It did.
Right.
Has this been featured at any of the game awards in the past 5 years?
It has been featured at and won a few game awards.
Why doesn't that help me?
It must be a heavy hitter then.
It's got to be. Well, it'll be like fucking indie game of the year or some shit like that. But I can't remember any of those.
Well, yeah, to be
It's
fair, I don't know
on
why.
two.
I don't know why I asked the question. I couldn't tell you any.
Could it be like a roguelike or something? No, it couldn't be a
Yeah,
roguelike.
no.
No.
Maybe.
You
You
shook your head. So.
I don't think you choose a roguelike. I don't think you'd like that.
But what would he choose, Lewis? Tell me what he would choose.
He'd choose like a weird, quirky, like a I don't know, like an FMV type. He'd choose like something. He'd choose something with a lot of heavy dialogue, and it's meant to be an experience, not a game.
It's like a
That's what you
visual
choose.
fucking novel.
Probably a visual novel.
Yeah.
I'm just cultured, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, it's Niall, right? So let's ask the question: would you class it as a walking simulator?
The wiki says it can be described as a walking simulator.
It's a walking
It's
sim.
a walking sim.
But I will say, also from the wiki, that there's stuff in it where like it's more. It's
More than that.
Yeah.
There are puzzles apparently, but there are puzzles in walking sims as well.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So what we're looking at walking sims. We're looking at Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, What Remains of Edith Finch.
Released in the last 5 years.
Yeah, they didn't quite last 5 years.
What walking simulators came out in the last 5 years?
Is what's it called? Return of the Obra Dinn. Is that a walking sim?
It's
Oh.
Death Stranding. He's
I
making
would have
Death
answered
Stranding.
100% yes to the detective question. I'm sorry I'm helping you.
That's
Sean,
what I mean.
but
That's
also-
why I asked, because
I thought we had a fucking-
like random shit.
Thought we had a bite then. No.
All right. Okay. It's me.
Is it the Stanley Parable?
No,
I
we've
wish.
we've already reviewed the Stanley Parable.
Oh, that's true. Actually, it can't be.
You know. So.
We know it's
Trying
not.
to
We know it's not on Game Pass. We know it's not on PS Plus. We know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of things that came out in the past 5 years. Or walking through.
Yeah, it's difficult.
But whose turn is it? Is it me?
It's me.
Oh, okay, good.
I had a question, but now I forgot what it is.
It's forgot what it is.
Oh, is it? No, that's a stupid question because it's a walking sim.
Stupid question.
I was
I
gonna
don't
ask
know
if
that
it was
hold you
a
back.
3D, but it's definitely 3D if it's a walking sim.
Well, yeah, it's first person as well. But I'm not surprised if it
2D
wasn't.
walking soon.
Yeah, you never know. I'm trying to think of like what the other genre could be.
But
If it's not,
RPG, maybe, but
no.
nah, stop looking like that.
Is it a platformer?
It is not a platform.
Not a platformer.
Right, we got 5
Would
questions left, boys.
Would you describe the art style as realistic?
No.
So it's artsy fartsy.
I've never heard of this game. I'm saying it now. Now lost me £3.
Well, I'd be surprised.
Because I usually
don't
play
know.
walking sims when they come out.
Yeah, I also just don't know.
That's the thing, right? I've said it. Like, don't let that be the thing that like cones your vision, because you wouldn't have seen this game. Because I'm guaranteeing you now, all of you have seen it. None of you would have thought, "Oh, that's a walking sim." That.
Okay.
So that connection is not going to help you.
So I have nothing now, is what you're telling me?
That's
Uh,
I
a
had
question.
I had walking sim before, now I have nothing.
yeah, back to basics.
You're gonna have to drop a genre question, I think, is the only way.
But what genre? Because it can't be an art. Can it
Horror.
be an RPG?
Try horror. Try horror.
Oh, can it be a horror game? Is
Ooh.
it a horror game?
Yes.
Oh,
Right. Okay.
what
Damn
horror
it.
So
game?
it's a horror adventure.
In the last 5 years,
What's come
I
out?
feel like I would have played
To be
it.
No,
fair,
it's a standalone
to be fair, I describe most games as adventures.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
last
that's what I said.
5
It would help
years.
you. You've now got a bite.
Got to buy it. It's
I'd
horror.
describe
It's
it as
released in the
like-
last 5 years, but when did Phasmophobia came up? You can't complete Phasmophobia, can you?
No.
No. It won't be an
One of
Outlast
them.
game, I don't think, because
No, it's standalone.
oh, it's
Standalone.
standalone. Yeah.
That's true, yeah, it is.
There's a Laser Fear 2 as well, isn't there? So
Yeah.
it can't be Laser Fear.
Well, yeah. So Layers of Fear was a it was like a compilation. It's kind of like a remake of the first 2 games, but yeah, it's definitely part of a franchise.
Yeah. So you solve puzzles.
You solve puzzles, yeah, which
It's
is
you-
standard in any horror game.
Yeah, in a horror game.
Yeah.
You do that in Resident Evil.
Could it be Scorn? As
Bringing
Niall,
back score now.
as Niall brought back Scorn.
Yeah, I've had enough PTO.
Do you shoot guns?
We have already asked if it's first person.
Yeah, that was like the
I
second.
don't know.
question.
I can't think of a question.
Let rephrase it to: do you use weapons?
Do you use weapons then?
Uh,
He doesn't know anything about this
Doesn't
game.
know anything.
I tried. It's one of those games where you want to avoid as much stuff as possible. Skipping through this video, I don't see a single weapon.
So you got no way of defending yourself.
So you just run in.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna give you something a little
Oh.
bit.
Go on.
So I would add psychological to the horror genre. Like, so it's a psychological horror.
That doesn't help me.
I
I don't think I've heard of the game. Telling you now.
The question that I'm gonna ask, which will help us greatly,
All right, here we go. Here's the classic Lewis.
is
Lewis delaying
Does
tactics.
it contain?
is gonna be.
Is this game?
I'm just trying to think because I feel like any question I ask is gonna result in nothing really, even if it's the best question ever. Even if I guess the game right, I'm still not gonna know the game.
Maybe we're just
probably.
really bad at this game. You know,
It's also possible.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, fucking hell. Is
Imagine you. Oh, go on, sorry.
Well, no, I didn't have anything. I was just gonna solve time. So.
I was just gonna say maybe just start from scratch, like wipe your memory clean with just
Okay.
knowing that it's a psychological horror, and go again. Maybe you can ask a helpful question.
But my issue is that I know it's a psychological horror, and I cannot think of one psychological horror that came out in the last 5 years.
Well, that seems like a you problem.
Did this game come out in 2022?
No.
Fuck. I was really hoping.
Did you find a game? Yeah.
No.
He's looking it up.
I'm not. It's just I was like maybe no. I was like maybe if I can clutch down this year, one of you guys would know a game that came out in that year, and then would win.
Right, just think back. Think back to the game, like the Game Awards. Right, think back to to the Game Awards. They must have
not mentioned at the Game Awards.
Oh well, that doesn't. Niall, I don't keep track of the other Game Awards.
They're not real awards. The Game Awards.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't mentioned anyway. I'll just double check.
Well, we know it's at 2022, so just think 24, 23, 21, 20.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, let me just think of all 4 of those years randomly.
Fuck, you know.
Wait, ask, did it, is it a game that blew up on social media?
Is it a game that blew up on social media?
I'd say most of its traction came from social media.
Is it?
Oh.
No, it won't be.
Oh.
It could be. It came out this year. It came out this year, though.
What is it?
Mouthwashing? Mouthwash? Mouthwasher?
Mouthwasher?
That's mouthwashing, I think it's called. It's been huge. Everyone was talking about it like the start of this year. It's a horror game. Well, no, sorry, last year. Not this year, last year. It was like a horror game, psychological horror game. And it's about... I saw Jacksepticeye, Markiplier and stuff playing it. Yeah. And it got very big and everyone was talking about it. And it was one of those fandoms where the guy's got like bandages wrapped around his head and one eye showing and like a bloody mouth, and it's called mouthwashing, I think.
Got absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Everyone was talking, and it's one of those fandoms that got really passionate and big, and when people slagged off the game, they like killed them. How dare you? So I know it's a massive
we might
game.
Die.
Well, I know it's a huge, big one. So
right. So we've got a guess then.
Is it mouthwashing?
It is.
Mouthwashing.
Oh,
there we go.
Let's go.
What the fuck is this game?
I cannot believe you two have not.
No, that was actually my final. When I said to Oliver, ask if it's big on social media, because that's the one game that I saw so many times in about like October, November time, like constantly.
Yeah.
And people kept saying, it was one of those things where people were like, oh my god, this game's amazing. And then the other half were being really elitist and saying, no, the game's shit, how can you like it? I don't know what it's about, in the slightest.
About mouthwashing, I suppose.
I just know it's called mouthwashing. And there's a guy, if you look at, well, actually, I don't know. If you look it up, there's like a guy with bandages on his head.
Yeah.
Like an eye showing.
I'm just bringing the trailer up now, yeah, it's, this is bizarre.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. I agree with Niall there.
I've never heard of this game.
Like, at least you've heard I've heard the name for months now.
Yes.
It wasn't until recently where I looked into what it actually was.
I feel like I'm pretty on the pulse with the games industry.
And I know it has like a cool like PS1 type of art style where it's really polygonal.
Yeah, no, it looks good. It looks interesting. It I think it could be a good pick. How long is it now?
It's 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours, cracking. Yeah. Right, yeah, banging. Right, okay. So, our next our next video game book club will be mouthwashing. When does that come out, Alex?
End of April.
End of April, cracking. And to refresh, we gave Chibi-Robo a 6.125 collectively. Well, until
Yes.
next time, we shall see you later.
Bye.
Bye.